so it's about 1 o'clock. I'm going to film a little bit earlier today. There's a couple of things I wanted to film that are different. Just trying to, keep things changed up. I don't want to keep filming combination locks. If I film that, I could film all day if I wanted to. But right now we're going to do a fleet of transits. We got to add a bunch of keys and remotes and stuff like that into them. And from there, we're going to do an ignition on a Chrysler. And then from there, I'm just waiting to get the okay. I believe it's an 04 Audi A4. We got to do lost keys on that. They're just looking for a basic key. They don't even want the flip key. They just want something to get going. And we'll play it by ear for the rest of the stuff from there. I'll be back with you. All right, so the first van that we're doing here is a 2019 Transit. They have 2 keys and 2 remotes. I've done these multiple times. So we're going to add 4 remotes and 4 keys. I'm just going to cut one just to make sure it's not chipped. All right, so this first van, we're going to choose vehicles. Ford USA. It is a Transit. 15 to 18 master. And we're going to do a decode on this. So we're going to slip this in to U0. Tighten that down in there. We'll hit next. It's going to do its thing. All right, so this decoded, gave us our code. We're going to pull this. And I'm going to cut this first one on metal just to make sure that it is not chipped. And if it's not chipped, we're just going to cut 4 of these rather than doing shells. And we'll hit cut and it'll do its thing. All right, so we're in this 19 Transit. Just cut this metal key. All right, this key is good. We can cut 4 more on metal and then we'll program in 4 remotes. All right, so I cut the 4 keys. They had 2 and 2 remotes. So now we're gonna go program in all 6 remotes. These Fords will usually hold a total of 6 remotes. Okay, so with these Transits, I have the door closed, seatbelt is on. I have all the keys and remotes ready to rock and roll. I'm just gonna off and on this until it beeps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it's in the off position. Now we're gonna press a button. Beeps, 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 and beeps. Okay, on and off. Open the door, close the door. If I'd stop dropping keys, we'd be all set, but you gotta do them so fast. Okay, first one, good. Second one, good. Third, good. Fourth, good. Fifth, and I got one more down here in the dark that I can't see. And 6. All right, these remotes are done in this one. And all the keys are good. I already checked them, and we're moving on to the next. Okay, so with the next van, they have 3 keys and 1 remote. So we're doing 5 remotes and 3 keys on this one. Okay, and now we'll just back out of this. We can chuck this key up in here. Yes, I already cleaned it out to about U0. Tighten that down in there. You can go to decode. Next. And it's going to do its thing. Okay, so the decode is complete on this. We're going to hit OK. It gives us our code. Actually, I'll show you. We'll hit next. It'll tell us where to put the new key. Open this up. Take this out. Put the HU 101 blank in there. Tighten it down.
hit cut, and we'll cut these 3 keys and we'll put them on rings, and we will go and program these remotes into. Okay, so we cut 3 keys and I added the 5 remotes, and let's go program these in. Okay, so this starts with a metal key, just to show you it's not chipped. It's fine. Remotes not programmed, have the other ones laid out there on the seat. We're going to go off and on 8 times quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then to the off, we're going to hit beeps, 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 beeps. On, off. Open and close the door. Now we can check these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason these are this way is you can lock this van with the remote, and if you hit just this back, I at least have a trunk button on them, it unlocks just the back doors and the front doors. Okay, so the next van we're doing is the 22 Transit. These are flip keys, and these are chipped, and they hold a total of 6 keys. These 4 are already programmed in there, so we're going to be adding 2 keys. That way they can leave it run with these 2 in and lock and unlock it with these. And by the way, these extra keys are the Twisted Blade 128-bit keys. With this, we're going to use the same protocol. We're just going to back out of here, go back to decode. We're just going to slap this key in here. I did clean the factory grease out of here because they get gooped up. So if you don't clean that grease out of there, you will break a tracer with that also. Close this down, hit next. We'll let it decode and do its thing. Okay, so now our decode is complete. It gives us our code. We're going to hit next. Use 0. Open this up. We can take this key out. Insert that into roughly use 0. Hit cut. I'll let it do its thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you this brand new 22. 70 miles are on it. It has 828 miles, and this thing is literally brand new, not even in service yet. I'll take one of these keys just to show you. Put the key in. You can turn it. This truck is chipped. See? No key detected. So the way that you cycle these in, I just got the keys laid out. First key goes in and on. Wait a few seconds. Turn it off. Second key on. Wait a few seconds. Turn it off. And then you take the new key that you're cycling in. Let's put that in, turn it on. A few seconds. Key program success right there on the dash. Now I can shut this off. Let's just open and close this door. We're getting a heck of a snow squall here, man. It's coming down pretty good. And now with this key, it will start with that. Okay, so this key is done. Okay, so now we're going to program in this second key. I will show you that this key does not start. So you're going to put the first key in, the working key, on. Just wait a couple of seconds. Turn it off. Next key, in and on. A couple seconds. And now we're going to take this, turn it in, turn it on, and now it's going to come up here. The 4 ways flashed and key program success. Okay, so now we have this key. It's good. That's one. This is our other. That's two. Grab this. Max number of keys learned. So this holds a total of 6. Okay. Now that's those 3. This is 4. That's good. 5. And this is number 6. See, it keeps telling me max number of keys learned. And that's what it will hold. What it will hold is 6. Anything, now if they lose keys, they need keys programmed in. Now you literally have to go in and reprogram the car and add them in that way. Not just cycling them in like this with working keys.
Alright, so I took care of a bunch of rigs there. I think I filmed 3 of them. I didn't want to film all of them. It's too repetitive. I don't want to drive you guys crazy just doing the same thing time after time after time. Anyway, it's like 3:45. I am running to take care of this Chrysler Aspen. We're going to key up an ignition and install it in this because the ignition is locked up on it. And I might have to push the Audi off until tomorrow. I've got to see how time goes here. But anyway, I'll be back with you.
Alright, so I just got to this Dodge Aspen. You can see this ignition locked up tight. They do have an extra key on here. Locked up. Alright, I'm going to drop this clam, cut a metal key, and we're going to tap on it, and it should turn right over. Alright, so with these, the first thing you want to do, pull the T20 Torx. It is right in here. Alright, so what I did, I pulled the T20 Torx here. There's one right up underneath. And let me show you. Up underneath here. If I can see it while I'm trying to film. Right there. There's going to be one in this hole and one in this hole. Unscrew them and we'll take this off quick. Alright, so I just separated the clam. You just got to drop it down enough to get to the pin so you can push the release up underneath. And what I do, I just cut a metal key. And you can just tap this thing a few times. And this truck will turn right over, and we can literally just push. There is a release pin. That thing is right in my way. There is a release right there. Push that, and this ignition will pop right out of here, but I'm gonna need 2 hands. Alright, so looking up from underneath this column, once you get that ignition turned, that is gonna be your poke hole right there. And this ignition slides right out. Alright, so I got this ignition out of there. So it keeps locking up because everything gets dirty in these ignitions here. So when you turn this, or you try to turn it, it locks up. You just clean the crud out of these things, just put a little turning pressure on it and just tap it and it'll turn right over. And once it turns, it's free. And if you look right there, that pin, you just hold back pressure on it and that little notch actually stops it from turning back. So you just push down on that pin like so, and this turns backwards past that, and you can take this ignition right out. You got to watch that you don't lose the 2 spring-loaded pins in here. And as you can see, they oiled it up like crazy. But what you get with this is just cruddy pins. And if you don't have an ignition on you or whatever, you pull this key out, you'll see, you see the first 2 pins are locked up in this. So if you take like a hook pick and you shove it in there, see that pin comes up out of there. Watch if I push down on that pin, see it's staying in there, locks right up. And the same thing with the second pin. That second pin is locked in there. So I'm going to show you a cheat with these. If you push this up out of there, you take the pin out and you'll see it'll have a ball of crud right there on it. Watch this, it'll come out. And you can see that goober on there. So you take that out and you can see the shiny spot where it's worn right there on the pin. It's kind of hard to get an angle, but right here is a shiny spot. Oh, there it is. Now you can see it. That shiny spot. And you can see right here where it rubs, and a couple of little marks on there where it rubs. And I'll show you. If you want to cheat this and save your customer some money, you just take a flat file and literally just put this on there, rub this back and forth. It'll shine this pin up, and you can see your high and your low spots on there. Doesn't hurt anything. I've done this literally thousands of times and it saves people a fortune. Clean that side up. And the other side up. Just takes a little tiny bit off of it. And you can slip this pin back down in there. And now, let me find my hook pick here. You'll see that this pin now functions perfectly. We'll do the same thing with this that's locked in there. See, if I shove this pin down, it just stays. It's not coming back out. So we just take this and pop this out. That one's actually in there pretty good. Take it out, and we'll take the goober off of it. That one's in there real big. And as you can see, there is your goober. Wipe that off on a rag. And again, you're going to see a shiny spot right here. You can see the shiny spot. That's just the wear on the wafer. I mean, you could change it out and stuff like that. But we can just put this on the file, flip it over this time, and we'll just rub this down. Same thing on the other side. Just a tiny little rub. It's not a whole lot. I mean, you're not compromising the pin in any way. And then you can just wipe the little bit off of there. You slip this down in. And now that pin is functioning too. So it's got a little bit of a grab to it. It still has a little bit of a grab. You just tap it, it pops right back up. So just take a hair more off of there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through and clean each of these up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I cleaned everything up. I stuck it back together. This thing works absolutely fantastic. that. This is their extra key. And this is the one that I cut, but just to show you. It's perfect now. Okay, and this truck goes back together exactly the same way. It's just a few screws. And this ignition now, absolutely smooth. Starts and runs beautiful. And we are done here and moving on. All right, so I got called. I got to go change the locks in a store here in Liberty. It's already 4:40. They want me there before 5 to change the locks out, so I'm going to push that Audi off till tomorrow. So I'll try to do a full leashy read on that thing with everybody and film it tomorrow. I know I can film a Lincoln, I think it's an MKX or an MKZ tomorrow, Gen 5 PEPS key. And I have a building that I have to do that the cylinder fell out of. The commercial building, the cylinder fell out of it, but I guess it fell out locked, which is a good thing. So they're not worried about it for the night, so we'll put that on the schedule for tomorrow. That I'll be able to film. And I got a couple others that I can't film. But anyway, tomorrow's another day. I'm going to put these two out now. Well, tonight. After I'm done with the store and I get home, I'll put the Transits out and the Chrysler ignition like that. It's just a quick little cheat, you know. You know, you can do the ignitions a lot cheaper than anyone else can. And you can really make some money with it because it happens to all those Chrysler ignitions right up through for, you know, I mean, they did those Chrysler ignitions forever. I mean, I have a brand new one in the truck that I can put in there. I quoted it to save the people money, and the fix, I mean, I've done that so many times, I mean, literally thousands of times, and I've never gotten a callback on an ignition after that. Anyway, I'm going to stop and take care of the store here in Liberty, and I will upload this video tonight, and I will catch you guys again tomorrow.